welcome back to my channel. I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and today I am doing my June wrap-up. In the month of June, it was my first month on Booktube, and I have to admit, I felt like I had a lot of self-inflicted pressure to read like 18,000 books. But I found myself reading a healthy 4 books, and I am going to talk about them a little bit today and give you my ratings on them. I can honestly say I have learned a lot as far as what expectations I have to hold up for myself, what expectations you guys have of me, and honestly how welcoming you guys are, and that I don't need to read 18,000 books. The first book I read in the month of June was Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I started this one immediately after finishing Illuminae. I could not stop reading it. It was really, really good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and the reason is because I believe that these books follow a formula. It's a really good formula, but I had kind of figured it out about halfway through this book, so I understood kind of the twists and turns it took. Illuminae caught me completely by surprise. I wasn't expecting any of its twists. The characters were different. They were in no way like the same characters formulated into a story, but I had a feel for it, and so it felt familiar and it felt good. It wasn't my favorite. I'm still going with Illuminae for my favorite, even though it was like just a crazy bizarre experience because I had never read this sort of text before. It's like a multimedia format. I read these along with the Audible book, and I highly suggest reading them like this. It was a really cool reading experience. My opinion is I wouldn't just listen to the audiobook because you miss out on a lot of things inside of this one, and they definitely incorporated new types of media formats, and I would hate for you to miss out on any of that. So if you do decide to listen to the audiobook, make sure it is a companion read with the book itself because you don't want to miss out. Next up is immediately after finishing Gemina, I started on Obsidio because I was completely hooked and I needed to know exactly how everything was going to work out. At this point, I felt like I was also a space refugee who needed to avenge their home, and this book made me feel like I was truly there. Like I said previously, I had kind of already figured out the formula, but there was some added little moments in this that I wasn't expecting, and definitely some very heartfelt moments. This book also got a 4 out of 5 stars for me. There was a lot of new elements added to it. I felt like this one wrapped up everything I needed to. In the end, it completed the series for me, and it was a really fun adventure and something I hadn't experienced before. So I hope there are more partnerships between Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman in the future, because this was a sci-fi format that I had not previously read and I really enjoyed. While reading Obsidio, I was also reading Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I had been reading this for pretty much all of June. I felt like it took me a lot longer to get through this one than it did for me to get through Six of Crows, mostly because it felt like I was still reading Six of Crows for the first quarter of this book. I felt like this story didn't pick up until way later, and I didn't know quite where it was going. It suddenly, around the midpoint, picked up, character development started happening again, and I was really interested in the story, but it took me a while to get to that point. So I am also giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. If the first half of the book had been as good as the second, then I definitely would have given this a 5 out of 5 stars because the second half was amazing and a little bit heartbreaking. So my next step with this book is definitely to go back and read the Grisha trilogy because I feel like the world building is so intricate and I feel like I'm missing out on part of that. So with this book, I definitely learned that I am very involved in the universe but need to know more. So my next book I actually ordered at the same time as Obsidio, but it got lost in the mail. Amazon refulfilled my order and expedited it, only for the first order to show up on my doorstep 2 days after getting my expedited order. I called them and they told me I could keep both copies of the book. The book I ordered was one I was really looking forward to, and that was Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, and it's not just any Peter Pan, but the illustrated interactive version of Peter Pan. There were so many things on each page that made it fun to read. Such as like medical cards. They thoroughly distract you from whatever you're reading because you will find yourself playing in this book as much as reading it. On to the story itself though. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. Going into it, I had never read the classic Peter Pan. I had only watched the Disney version and the adaptations such as like Hook and stuff like that. I felt like I really knew the mythology of Peter Pan, but had never read the classic, so when I saw this one, I picked it up immediately, and I have to say, Peter Pan is a lot creepier than I thought it was. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it was just Peter himself is a very creepy little boy. I wasn't expecting it, and some of his treatment of the women in this novel definitely irked me. I understand that it's a product of its times. However, I don't think because something is historic that necessarily makes it correct. There was a lot of sexism in this book as well as racism. I knew that going into this book because of the Disney adaptation of this book, having so many stereotypes about Native Americans. I have to say Disney toned it down, and that made this really uncomfortable to read in some points. As well as the treatment of Wendy, the treatment of Tinkerbell, overall kind of killed the magic in this book for me. Because every time that there was a scene, I felt magic in it. It was often undercut by some of those elements. So while I thought this had a really good storyline, interesting dialogue, and definitely I have to give it to J.M. Barrie, this was truly imaginative. I could not look past the other elements, and so I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. That being said, and I know I didn't sell this, guys, but I had to be truly honest with myself. The moment I got my second copy, I planned on using it as a giveaway item. I have the same book and it's sealed still. If you would like this book, if you are curious and you want to form your own opinions about it, or if you just want to get this copy or edition of it, because honestly, this edition was beautiful. All the interactive elements made it so much fun to read. So if you are interested and you would like to be entered in this giveaway, go ahead and just make sure you're subscribed to my channel and you leave a comment down below, because I will be choosing a winner. You won't have to pay shipping for it. I'll just get a hold of you, let you know that you've won, and I will make sure that it's shipped to whichever address you would prefer. However, simply to sweeten the deal, because I know that I just put a downer on my own giveaway, I'm also giving away my second copy of Obsidio. It has not been read yet. It's completely brand new, and I really enjoyed this book. If you write in the comments Peter Pan, I will also be sending you Obsidio. Unless you don't want Obsidio, then say in the comments, but like, I don't want Obsidio, and I'll not ship it to you. And I'll make sure that I get a hold of you within a reasonable time and it's shipped out within the next few days. I know that was a really anticlimactic giveaway. I am in the works to make an actual giveaway. If I reach 100 subscribers, I plan on announcing that, so look out for that. And because you don't have to watch my subscriber count, if you go ahead and follow me on Twitter, I will definitely be jumping up and down all over Twitter the moment I reach that goal. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you can go ahead and follow me on there. I've been having a lot of really good conversations on there and pretty much just spewing out my feelings as well. So if you're bored and you want to talk to me, or if you like spewed feelings, then go ahead and check out my Twitter account. I update it fairly often. And I think that concludes my June wrap up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hopefully have already posted my July TBR. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm also participating in a readathon. If I did this correctly, I posted these videos close to each other, if not at the same time. Until then, I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are. Until next time, bye! But guys, like, look at this croc clock. It's called a croc clock. Ooh, I'm sweating. Gross. Don't post this part. What's happening to your hair? Everything's falling apart. Hello? Do it all over. Computer Jade is agreeing with you. I mean, it's still Peter Pan. Get something out of that. I'm sorry.